Hi, I am Bill Skripchek, president of Waverider Trading Technologies. The FX Morning Mayhem podcast is an essential listen for currency traders. Each episode covers a curated watch list of key currency pairs alongside insightful market observations. It highlights crucial daily news events that could influence the market, ensuring traders are well informed. Additionally, the podcast offers valuable trading strategy tips, catering to both new and experienced traders in the Forex market. This podcast is for educational purposes only. None of this info should be construed as investment advice. To see the trades called out live on our Slack channel, click the link in the description to join the trade faction. And now on with the show.
Aussie CAD is at a minor wave bottom. So we're looking for a long setup here, but the trend is going the wrong way now. So we got to wait for that to go that way, and then it'll pull back, and then we'll probably get in that. Aussie Singapore dollar, we are at a minor wave top. And this has already fired a few times. But this is pulling back to that line. So if it pulls back enough, I believe we could get another setup here. To the short side, Aussie US dollar, minor wave top. Fired off here. Oops. Fired off back here. It would have to pull back quite a bit here. The amplitude is right around 100. And these things fire off right around 15. You'd have to pull back a lot. So I don't think you're going to see anything on that one in the short term. This is a new, I substituted this one in. The reason for the substitutions are merely because I keep experimenting with the settings for the system, and then I tweak it based on the most positive results from the strategy tester. So these things test high as far as risk return. So that's why they get substituted into the list. So this particular one is in a neutral state. So we just don't pay attention to it for right now. New Zealand, Singapore dollar, this is at a minor wave top. Fired off, as you can see, a bunch of times here. This would have to pull back before we could get in short on that one. And then New Zealand, US dollar, I'm still in. I'm being a butthead. And I'm hoping for a reversal here. It's just been chopping sideways for almost 2 weeks now. And I just refuse to give up on this one because it's happened to me so many times where I just give up and then it'll go woof. So I'm just like, no, I'm staying in here, hell or high water, see what happens. The news today, oh boy, as John Lennon used to say, we had Euro monetary policy statement at 7:15, which really didn't affect any of did it do anything to this Euro chief? That must have been that little run right there. So that was at 7:15. Then at 7:30, we had a bunch of retail sales numbers come out for the US dollar. They were all good. We have a Euro press conference coming up at 7:45. Am I missing anything important here? And then after that, not much is going on at all. I think we're actually past the bulk of the news today. So here's your question for the day, Dave.
All righty.
That news, what about that stuff? What do you think about news?
Sometimes it is the bane of my existence.
Okay.
But I try not to bet the news. Although you have a 50-50 shot.
Right.
My problem is that when you make that bet and the news comes out and it's in your favor for the trade and it doesn't do anything. And you're just like, why? I don't try to bet the news just because I'm not, who knows what these numbers are going to come out.
Mm.
We had some numbers come out before and they had to go back and fix them. But it's just like, I try not to bet the news. I'll go around my day on that, or if I see a giant movement, I'll wait till it's done and then bet against it. So if I went short, I'd probably go long, and it's probably good for 5-10 points or pips. So it's like, I don't take stock in that news because it's just a reaction from the people, and it's a knee-jerk reaction. Sometimes it does that, but wherever this thing's going to go, it's going to go, because most of the time what happens is you'll see a long reaction, and then it'll go right back to where it was and just keep going. So
Yep, I would agree with you. I think the news is, I think the banks use the news as an excuse to push price around. They'll set up a trade. This is actually a really good example. Prices on the Euro Chief were somewhere in this area. They really wanted it to be down here. So news gets announced and boom, it gets moved down to there. The thing. As far as your 50-50 betting strategy, you're gonna love this because this is a guy I used to pay attention to a long time ago when I was trading futures.
yeah.
What he would do on the news is he would use moving averages, right? So if price was, let's say price is like right here, he would have a 200 period moving average up here and a 200 period moving average down here. And he would have a short set up here and he would have a long set up here. And then when news came out, it would either get spiked down or it would get spiked up, and he'd get filled, and then it would regress to the mean really fast, and then he'd make a bunch of money and get out. His whole trade was like 10 seconds. And
Right.
it would work 9 out of 10 times. So I was just like, okay, that's interesting. You could create an entire trading strategy around that. That's all I got for today. I guess we'll see what happens, and
Yeah.
we'll just keep hanging in that New Zealand USD trade and see if that thing ever rocks out.
Yeah. See, now the news should have
Yep.
shooken that up a lot, but
It did nothing.
yeah, I think it went right back to where it was.
Yep.
Giant pitch down, and now it's going to go right back to where it was and
Yep.
moving around.
Yeah, you're right. It spiked down, and now it's right back where it was before the news.
Yeah. So I'm
Okay.
confused.
We are really bad Karnaks.